Hello YouTube, and today we're changing the rear brake pads out on this 2013 Toyota Camry. It's gonna be a pretty short video because it's a pretty easy fix, and this would be a real good one for somebody that doesn't have confidence to try this themselves. So I'll show you all the tools you need and exactly how to do it. Stay tuned. First thing you'll need to do is get your tire off. So if you don't have an impact, you can use your tire equipment, but you're gonna need some jack stands, something to make sure the car's safe. But you'll need a 21mm to get the lug nuts off. All right, here we are with the wheel off, and what you're gonna need here is a 14mm wrench, or maybe a 3/8 ratchet would work, or even a 1/2 inch. You can't really get power tools in the back of this. I'm not saying it's impossible. The bottom one you probably could on this side, but you'll need to take this bolt out up top, and then there's another one that's trying to get in here without getting you sick. The other one will be down here where my finger is. Once you take those two bolts out, then all we need to do is pry out here on this caliper. It'll pop off. Okay. I just used the wrench, bumped it a couple times with my hand, they popped off. They actually recommend you replace these bolts, and they get torqued back to 63 to 65 foot-pounds. I'll get this caliper out of the way. That should be fine right there. I'll show you in a minute how we get that piston back. But you can use different tools. And then you want to make sure that these sliders are free, because if they're not, that's going to mess us up here. So you got to make sure that if your brake pads are worn, normally they're going to be extended. So sometimes they need a little love. Sometimes they need pulled back out and put some anti-seize material on there. Alrighty, I tapped on that a few times with a hammer. Make sure you get it good and loose, and we're good to go. Sometimes you got to pull them out, or wire brush them off, get some more anti-seize on them, because if those lock up, then your caliper won't float. Here you can see that one being locked up might have been some of the reason why the inside pad had probably close to half, and this outside one was about done for. So we will. These I don't remember if these brake pads here came with the metal clips. I would almost guessed they would have, but I normally don't run them. These are a centric brake part. They come with the C-Tech logo. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that the centric brake company, they make both brake parts. That's your OEM stuff for your Toyotas and Lexuses, so I'm told. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. And of course you have there's a slight curvature to your pad. You can kind of see it there. Of course it follows that same line. These pads here, you can't mess up. One goes in both locations, so let me put the one down. And you should be able to just plop them right in by hand, just like such. And these clips, or the anti-vibration clips, won't allow the pads to chatter. I believe keeps them located as well. There we go. Now we added a bunch more diameter to the clamping surface, and now we have this here also is my tool that I use to get the calipers back. I didn't have it last video I made, and I'm like, that's it, I'm spending 20 bucks on one of these. They're pretty handy. I'll put the link for this down in my description, and you just put it in like so, and then as you turn it out, it will push the piston in. They're pretty nifty. Like I said, if you don't have one of these, you can just use channel locks, but you gotta be careful you don't scuff up the rubber around your piston. So like I said, this was about, I think it was around $20 to $25 for this, and makes it pretty simple. So all you really need to do is push it back. Technically you're supposed to release the bleeder and let all that fluid go out and flush everything with new, but I don't, so don't do what I do. This is how I do. But you'll put your 2 bolts back in and then torque it back to 63 to 65 foot-pounds on these 2 bolts. And that is pretty much it, other than putting the tire back on. I'll make a quick video on my bench here of the tools you need, but it's not much. I mean, you need a 21 millimeter to get the tire off, the lug nuts off, and then you need a 14 millimeter, and a screwdriver and maybe a hammer would be helpful. There you can see how that floats, and if these rods get locked tight in there, it won't allow the caliper to do what it needs to do. So that should be it. I don't think I'm going to bore you with showing you how to put the wheel back on. Alright, here's a quick shot of what I needed. I used a light. I ended up needing a hammer to get one of the the sliders loosened up. Screwdriver, get the brake pads peeled off. Here is the part number, 103.12120. I'll put the Amazon link for that down in the description. 21 millimeter, a pair of gloves, a 14 millimeter wrench or ratchet, and then I used the piston compressor. I'll put the link in the description as well for that. That's it. That would be my Amazon affiliate link, so I'll get a few cents, and it doesn't cost any more for you. So please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one here on Mad Mike's Garage.